New details tonight about that double murder-suicide involving a family, including a little 8-month-old child. The L.A. Times is reporting now that the suspect, identified as Danielle Johnson, was also a controversial astrology influencer who was worried about this week's solar eclipse.
Shocking new details about why a woman may have allegedly killed her partner and baby. According to a new report from the L.A. Times, Danielle Johnson was an influencer with 100,000 followers on X, formerly Twitter, who mostly talked about astrology online. The report goes on to say she made posts saying she was worried about the eclipse and called it, quote, the epitome of spiritual warfare. In the hours before the eclipse, police say she stabbed her partner to death in their Woodland Hills apartment, then pushed her 2 daughters out of her car on the 405 freeway. The 9-year-old child survived. Minutes later, Johnson died when she slammed her car into a tree in Redondo Beach.
Now, investigators found tarot cards and black feathers at the crash scene, and they believe that the eclipse may have been a factor in these killings, though the motive is still unclear.
Mother who pushed her children out onto the busy 405 freeway.
Police have learned that she was heavy into astrology, and her social media accounts were full of doomsday messages as the eclipse approached.
Danielle Johnson, seen here for the first time since carrying out her horrific murderous rampage, tossing her baby and 9-year-old child onto the freeway, stabbing her boyfriend to death, and then killing herself in a crash. All of it happening in the early hours of Monday morning. Neighbors of the victims are still reeling. On Friday, just 2 days before her killing spree, Johnson posted on X, "Wake up, wake up. The apocalypse is here. Everyone who has ears, listen. Your time to choose what you believe is now." On her website, Johnson described herself as an astrologer and an energy healer. Johnson appeared obsessed with the eclipse, posting about it multiple times, calling it the epitome of spiritual warfare and urging people to pick a side as the world is changing. She also reposted anti-Semitic images and anti-Semitic tropes about Jewish people owning Hollywood and promoting pedophilia.
We didn't realize how mentally unstable she was. A lot of anti-Semitic remarks, especially in Hollywood, calling Hollywood execs pedophiles.
Detectives are reviewing all of Johnson's posts, but right now they are not connecting the eclipse and her online rants about it to the murders.
I feel so bad, as I'm sure everyone does, for the infant, and especially for the daughter that survived it.
Johnson's inexplicable rampage began early Monday morning here at her Woodland Hills apartment complex. Detectives say she got into an argument with her boyfriend, 29-year-old Jalen Allen Cheney, which ended with her stabbing him to death. She then took her 2 daughters, an 8-month-old baby, and 9-year-old, rammed the gate in her garage, and took off down the 405. She stopped her SUV in Culver City and pushed her baby daughter and 9-year-old out onto the freeway. The infant was hit and killed. The 9-year-old, who witnessed the horrific stabbing, survived with only minor injuries. Johnson kept driving. She ended up in Redondo Beach, where she slammed into a tree. Police say she was speeding at about 100 miles per hour during the impact, which they are investigating as a suicide.
Yeah.